turns out they wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because it was the alpha model. Now they want to launch a beta.
Yeah, it had all hydraulic gimbaling and all that. Now it's all electric.
Which
it's
is
like
nice.
She knows the damn thing's on.
Well, she probably got a cell phone that goes beep. Hey, Joe, show's on. Yeah.
Go. Got my hair up.
And now we're also streaming on both the independent creator directory pages.
Okay, yeah, I see that now. All right.
Hey, you know.
Oh, you came in here for that. Get out of here. Damn you.
Would she fart and leave?
One would
I do believe that it's called
suspect
chemical
from the
warfare.
reaction.
See, what is it? Brian K. Morris always said, promote, promote, promote. See, Joe. And that's what you do here is promote.
Damn. Got right up into the fan.
Better
and
turn
farted.
that fan on.
Y'all are just the perfect couple. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of
Hey,
course,
Lucy, he's home. Okay.
Of course, that means that she is now, taking this accelerated. She has. What am I trying to say? She has
advanced the agenda.
Yeah. So now
escalated, I believe, is the proper
escalated.
Term.
That's what I was. Now she's escalated. Now I must retaliate.
To quote Bugs Bunny, this calls for massive retaliation.
I guess this means war.
Oh yes.
But yeah, all the everything is run electrically now instead of through the hydraulics.
Which is an advantage because that's fewer fluids to worry about.
Fewer fluids to worry about. Almost instantaneous movement. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Even Josh?
I bet I know why Josh is here. Because one of our friendly neighborhood hurricanes just turned into a Cat 4 monster that's heading straight for Cape Canaveral.
Is it headed that way?
Sort of. Yeah.
From what I've been seeing, there's a trough coming in that's going to steer it out, and it's going to hit, New York and up.
Ouch.
With the luck that the United States has been having for the last 4 years, it'll go up the East Coast and wipe out every major city all the way up to Ontario.
I would like to see a Cat 5 just blow right into Washington, D.C. and not let Congress out of session.
Have it hit so fast they can't get the air. If I were the air traffic controller for Washington, D.C. and saw the hurricane coming and knew all the senators were trying to leave, I'd close the airport.
Close the airports.
Nope, y'all staying here. Y'all get
Close
to go
the highways.
Y'all get to go spend the week in that bunker y'all paid all that money for.
I still think they need to build a wall all the way around the city, about a mile high, and just
start filling it up.
Fill it with concrete while Congress is in session. The world would probably build statues to whoever organized it.
Nope. Just one big one right on top where Washington.
Right on top, yes.
Well, you heard about the guy headed into Washington, D.C., and there's this big traffic jam. A terrorist is taking over Congress, says he's going to set them all on fire. And he's knocking on windows and said, yeah, they're, what's going on. He says, we're taking donations. Guy says, well, what is everybody giving? Oh, about 2 gallons.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh, that's that joke about Washington D.C. is the most nuclear weapon-proof city on the planet because none of our enemies would want to nuke that town and end all that confusion.
Yes. Never interrupt your enemy when they're in the middle of making a mistake.
Oh, I'm working on something right now, guys. It has gotten completely out of hand.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dear is right. Let me get it over here to brand. I think I've still got it. Oh no, I can use that to clear it out. And that. And add this. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. John, you've heard about the cult of DragonCon.
Which one?
The cult of carpet.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. That it's gone too far. The inflatable dinosaurs with the carpet. Look.
Do you know how much they spent on that?
Depends on whether or not they are the people who had that fabric made.
Do what?
Okay. Somebody out there is making that fabric.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder,
carpet mills.
Well, the thing is, that's supposed to be a proprietary pattern. And Marriott doesn't even own it. It's whatever company they hired to do the redecorating or whatever. And for a long time, if you used that pattern for anything that you were doing, you would get a letter from their lawyers, cease and desist, quit using our stuff. But I think the trademark's out on it. I don't know how long a carpet pattern trademark lasts.
But yeah, I saw that and I said, yeah, I got to show that to John.
Ping.
Should we let her in?
Why not?
All right.
Hello.
Hey, you. Why do I get the feeling? Why do I get the distinct feeling that the reason she showed up here just now is because she was at DragonCon wearing one of those carpet pattern dinosaur suits?
No, I wanted to tell Carl that, hey, look at my new camera, and I'm actually on the computer now and not on a freaking tablet. Surprised I figured out how to do that tonight.
See if you...
I got it. I killed her echo cancellation.
Thank you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
That's all right. Neither does Joe Dog. That's why we get away with so much. He didn't know what any of us are doing.
I'm going to turn her up just a hair there so we can hear better.
I decided to, well, the microphone I don't have plugged in yet, Carl. But yeah, I decided to mop the floor today, and that was not a good decision on my part.
Who did you decide to mop it with?
A mop.
Oh, I thought there was somebody that had pissed you off.
Yeah, the cats. They made a mess. That's why I had to mop the floor.
I don't think she got it. Mopped the floor with their ass.
Thank you. Like I said, I might be slightly medicated to try to kill some of the spinal pain.
Well, I completely understand how you feel.
So,
Police get a call that this lady had shot her husband. So they send the police officers out. They call back. Deputy calls back to the sheriff. Says, "Yeah, we're on site." Says, "Have you detained the woman?" Says, "No, not yet." He goes, "Why not?" Says, "Well, her husband," says, "she had just got done mopping the kitchen floor, and her husband came walking in across the floor with muddy work boots. So she shot him right there on the kitchen floor." Says, "Well, have you arrested her?" He says, "No, the floor's still wet."
Smart men.
Yes, I have. I can understand. Oh.
Yeah. At work, every time I have to take an early break because of the schedule of the way I've got to do my tests, and I have to go early, and the cleaning crew is still mopping the floors and everything, I just apologize all up and down. They go, "Oh, it's all right. We're used to it." And I go, "I just hate to walk on anybody's freshly mopped floor." It's a holdover from long ago. There are some Pete Switch lessons that have never been unlearned by this old boy.
Oh, Pete switch. Yeah, those are about as flexible as a privet switch.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't have privet up your way, do you, Joe?
Not to my knowledge.
Lucky man.
Yeah.
Privet like bushes?
Yeah. Hedge,
Yeah.
Oh.
hedge, yeah. They're pretty when they're small, and they don't stay small for long.
You have to constantly trim them. And the more you trim them, the better they get. But you miss 1 year, dear Lord. When we bought this house, well, John, you've been over to my house in the
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah.
Where that the back of the wood building is,
Mm-hmm.
actually about a quarter of the way from the end of that back of the wood building, used to be privet all the way back to that fence. So, we got a brush hog in, had it all cut down, and then I had to start pulling the stumps out.
Mm-hmm.
Those things go about 2 feet deep and spread out about 20 feet around.
The one thing that's worse than that would be mimosa.
Oh, yeah, mimosas are.
You let those get established, you in for a bad 6 months of trying to get rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
I just found something I'm going to have to look up.
What?
These two Philippine frigates have been upgraded with a French-made anti-torpedo defense system. And I'd never heard of such a thing.
Well, at first I thought the period was going to come after French made, and I go, okay, they're scaling things up.
Let me see. The system's called Contralto, so I'm wondering if it shoots. I'm wondering if it shoots at the torpedoes or if it's just some sort of electronic jamming, something or other.
With that name, it might be.
I mean, I've heard of decoy launchers.
Ultrasonic.
I've heard of decoy launchers.
Yeah.
Which shoot noisemakers. And then, but I imagine If you wanted the torpedo to think it was closer to its target, you'd have something like that would start making ultrasound or sonar noises close to the torpedo, and make it think it was closer to the target than it was.
What you need is something to make it turn around and go home, and then go boom.
That's hard to do because a lot of these torpedoes, a lot of more modern torpedoes, are wire guided. The submarine that launches it, as long as that wire stays intact, they can change its speed and change how fast it's moving, so they can have it go in real slow. And I know the Mark 48 advanced capacity torpedoes, it has active and passive sonar. So as long as you don't turn on the active, you can send it in and you can actually hear what the torpedo hears. So you can send it in on slow speed and listen the whole way in. And like if there's a whole fleet of ships that you're approaching, you can pinpoint each ship and then figure out which one you want to sink first. And they're also smart. You can have pre-programmed search patterns and tell it what to do if the wire breaks. Like if the wire breaks, head this direction for 5 kilometers and do circles until you find something to shoot. Another scary thing you can do, you got your target ship, you're coming in from the south, you launch the torpedo and then have it cut across the ship's path, get north of the ship, turn back around, and then go active while you're coming in from the south. And you can draw off all the escorts that think a submarine is north of them while you're coming in from the south to hit all the ships they're protecting. As long as the wire don't break, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And it never fails. You're always going to have to launch a torpedo in rough seas. So there's
your broken wire.
There's your broken wire.
I do want to thank Dory for helping me figure out the camera. I was having some issues with it, and somehow he got it figured out. I got an orange square. Go be figured.
You have an orange square?
I know I did the other day when you were helping me figure it out.
There is a school, and I love this bit. It's called the Jules Verne Primary School. It's right outside Paris, France.
Yeah.
They were doing some work in the playground, and they dug up underneath the sand pit where the kids have been playing all this time. Found over 200 mortar shells that had been buried by the Germans and various 10,000 pounds of machine gun ammo and a couple machine guns.
Just right underneath them.
Been right underneath them since World War II. At least they found it. At least they found it in a good way. So.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, guys. I'm reading my blood work results from the doctor yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Does it show that you're human?
Yeah. Well, that was questionable. Some of the stuff is out of range. Like, one's supposed to be, the high range is 1.6. Mine is 1.7. But it's flagged as out of range.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically you are, but I mean, that's That's not horrible. I had a nurse look at me one time. We used to do a yearly physical at NDOT. That if you went through the, blood pressure, blood sugar work, all that stuff, you could save money on your insurance. And went through. She takes my blood pressure. I was 121/80. She looks at me. She goes, "You're pre-hypertensive." What? Oh, you're 121/80. You're pre-hypertensive. No, I just walked up 2 flights of stairs and you pricked me with a needle. My blood pressure is going to be a little bit high right now.
Really?
Dumbass.
Well, I've also been diagnosed with white coat syndrome. Don knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When they show up in lab work, do blood pressure, whatever, they're always wearing white coats, and it elevates your blood pressure.
Because your nerves are
You're
on
nervous.
edge, so when you're nervous, your blood pressure goes up.
Yep. Well, I figured in Joe Dog's case, the white coat syndrome was that nice white coat that helps you hug yourself. Comes with a nice padded room and
Those nice young men with the clean white coats, they're coming to take me away. Haha. Yes.
I would have needed a nice padded room today. Went outside to, I bought some new wheels to go on, new to me wheels to go on my car, aluminum wheels. So I was going to clean them up. My son has decided to clean up the dog accidents in the house and dump them off the side of the deck onto the garden hose. Yeah. My blood pressure was really up.
yeah.
Back when I was younger, the nurse at the factory was having everybody come in and do blood pressure screening and all that stuff. And I had been working my butt off, so my blood pressure was a little high, and she said something about it. So, okay, well, let me see if I can slow it down a little bit. So I started doing some of the meditation stuff, and she goes, "Wait, what? Stop doing that. Your heart just stopped. Stop doing that."
Oops.
I just got really calm.
When I had my spinal surgery, my neck surgery, long story short, the doctor was not in the hospital and I had to wait for him to get there, but I was already prepped for the surgery. So we can either go back to the pre-op or you can just wait here. And I'm like, well, I'll just wait here while my blood pressure was high. I was having surgery. They're like, okay, well, we'll put some music on. What do you want to listen to? And in my nervousness, which I do like them, I said Iron Maiden. And so they start playing Iron Maiden. They take my blood pressure down and my systolic had gone down 30 points. Listening to Iron Maiden.
It's relaxing.
Apparently.
Really?
They're like, that's not normal. And I'm like, man, this is me we're talking about. It's not normal, but it worked.
It's normal enough. It worked.
Yeah. Up the irons, down the blood pressure. We're a talkative bunch tonight.
Yeah. Well, I got the weekend off coming up. The paint crew should finally be out tomorrow night to paint. The road, the ramps that they grooved yesterday, that they were supposed to paint last night and paint again tonight, and they never did.
We've been having the county road crew come out, and they started repaving the road that I live on, which is, not before time. It's been needing it. It's about 6 miles long from end to end. What do? They pave the middle 2-mile stretch and disappear.
That sounds about right.
So now I guess I know where the important folks live on this road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's got a county commissioner who lives down the road from them.
I don't think so. I think it's the housing contractor and the people that used to own half of the county, and or the descendants of the people that used to own half of the county. And I mean, it starts just past the church, and it ends just before the road that I have to turn off to go to visit my mother. And it's all nice, and I would say it's smooth, but it's kind of it's much better than it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a washboard, but you can feel the dips and the sways in the road.
Probably from them improperly rolling it.
Well, they dug all the way down to the dirt and put brand new stuff all the way up. So
yeah, it could still be from them improperly rolling it, at least the surface layer.
Mm-hmm. It's not bad. It's not bad in my van. It'd be scary as hell in Lindsay's car because it's got a totally different suspension in my van. So
yeah, and maintenance is redoing a couple of the ramps on Klein right now, and I'm kind of interested to see how those are going to ride when they're done with them.
And we have an unidentified Facebook user saying, "Hey, kids."
And it's somebody on your guys' Facebook page that doesn't have the special little emblem next to it, as if it was coming from mine.
Yeah. Don't know who it is. Well, hello, whoever that is, saying, "Hey, kids."
If you go to the website that is currently scrolling across the bottom of the board down there, over there, that thing. It says, visit StreamYard.com/Facebook and grant permission to show us your name. So, unless you just don't want your name on our show. Not that we wouldn't understand, but that's...
We need to have Dawn add a little tagline under her name.
Well, that's up to Dawn. I mean, unless you just,
I haven't come up with anything.
I'm sure something will present itself eventually.
Well,
Speaking of which, hey Joe, yours says Master of Mischief and Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Didn't we used to have a fern bar downtown called Shenanigans?
It was at Northgate.
Was it or didn't they move it to Four Squares?
No, it was at Northgate.
Oh no, I'm thinking Brass Register. My bad.
Yeah. Shenanigans used to be at Northgate, and it was run by Dwayne Gass, the Big Kahuna.
The Big Kahuna.
He moved it up to there at the Ridge Cut, and it was called Sunset Cafe.
I do remember that one. Yeah. I don't remember where Shenanigans was though.
Across from the movie theater inside the mall. The original movie theater at the mall.
Oh, okay. I think I know where you're talking about.
On the Loveman's end.
I'm trying to remember what that store has been.
Belk.
No. The one across from the movie theater. Was it Piccadilly? No. You had Morrison's. Was that a Morrison's at one time or another?
Maybe Piccadilly was up.
Piccadilly
on the
was down on the other end of the mall. You catty corner to it. Literally.
Yeah.
Okay. So
as far away as they could get them from each other.
So there wouldn't be any fighting, and if there was any fighting, it'd be right around the fountain in the middle of the mall.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dinner and a show.
And I've heard that they don't build malls anymore, but they've pulled fountains out of a lot of malls. Maintenance.
Yeah. They went and put that one in when they did Eastgate Town Center.
Yeah.
They put a fountain in down there it was all mountains, beautiful fountain, all made of mountain stone. Thousands of dollars worth of building, stuff like that. And then the mall started dying shortly afterwards. I don't know what happened with that thing.
Hamilton Place is what happened to Eastgate.
The biggest problem with Eastgate is they never had an exit from the interstate.
Yeah.
Of course, can you imagine how much more pain in the ass traffic would have been with one more exit there in Confusion Junction?
Yeah. Well, when they built the mall there, they were told, you build the mall. State told them, you build a mall, we will build you an exit. So they built the mall.
There's even a road that goes up to where they wanted the exit.
Yeah. And service roads in and out. Oh.
You remember Bruno's? The grocery store?
Yeah, I remember Bruno's. They became Food Max. And do you know what happened to Food Max?
They got bought out by the U.S. Postal Service?
No.
No.
The president, vice president, chief CEO, and all their family went down on a plane crash.
Ooh. Seems I do remember something about that.
And there was nothing in the organization for somebody to take over from those three. So
did you know they moved Mrs. Griffin's footlong hot dogs into Eastgate?
Yeah. Which I hate. Of course, that whole corner at Central and Main has been bought out. They're going to level it and put in apartments. I want to know where the people are coming from that can afford $2,000 a month rent.
That's a puzzler right there.
Mm-hmm. I don't even like my $700 a month mortgage.
Same here. But yeah, they're talking, $2,000 a month for a single bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to live in that shit.
Oh, there's going to be a massive housing crisis here in the near future when all these people start crying about nobody wants to pay rent anymore. No, nobody can pay rent anymore.
Yeah, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I paid off my mortgage a few years back.
I'm working on that.
If anything ever happened and I wound up unemployed, at least they couldn't take the house from me till I missed tax payments, because that'd be the only thing I owed on it.
And hell, you got to be 7-8 years behind on tax payments before they do that?
I hope it's a number of years rather than a number of dollars, because the way they keep raising the property tax around here. My first property tax I paid when I bought the house was $300. It's now well up approaching $1,500. And all I did was mow the yard and kill some kudzu.
Yeah. Well, I saw some.
That's every 6 months, Dan, or is that per year?
Yeah, per year.
Okay.
I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere. And the house was built in the 60s. It's basically falling apart. The only reason they're raising the property taxes, they're hoping when I die, my family will sell it and they'll be able to turn my acre and a quarter into 50 McMansions or something.
I look at it like this: if they're going to do that, I'll be gone anyway, so it don't matter. But yeah, our property tax is going up too. I mean, shit, they're building nearly 800 $1.5 million to $5 million homes down at the bottom of the hill from me.
Mm-hmm.
So, the city and the county's looking at $1 billion coming in tax revenue.
Yeah.
From this new development.
Yeah, they
or
put in
assessing $1 billion.
Yeah, they put in a little housing development. It might be 15 to 25 houses close to us, and the property tax started jumping up, and I'm going, each one of those things that you're valuing at $1 million a piece costs less to build than what I paid for this place a long time ago.
Yeah, and they'll fall in on themselves in less than 40 years.
From the renovation trucks I see going in and out, they're already not even 10 years old. They're falling
apart. Yeah.
I mean, I've lived in mobile homes that were built with higher quality standards.
Well, we got a neighborhood association here. It's not a homeowners association. It's just a neighborhood group. One of these people moved in from California and asked, is there going to be an HOA in this area? Nope. Well, we should form an HOA. Somebody politely mumbled, yeah, it'd be a shame for that new house of yours to burn down.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, okay, glad I wasn't at that meeting.
Because really, gas is getting expensive nowadays. You couldn't afford to contribute to that one.
The only reason they want an HOA in your neighborhood is because all them new houses that are getting built down at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Those people want an HOA.
Well, those people can have one. They just don't come up the hill.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
There's an idea. You ever see these roadside attractions that have like the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota?
Yeah.
You need to start making one of those. We'll use the show here. We'll get everybody to start sending you string or rubber bands or whatever. Rubber bands would be a good one.
So what?
Car parts.
Weird Al can start a new song?
No. Once this thing gets big enough, like 13 feet across, weighs about 7 tons, somebody down at the bottom of the hill starts shouting, we need an HOA, just roll that damn thing down the hill onto his house. Because I would love to hear that phone call to his insurance agent. Yeah. Some nutcase up at the top of the hill was making a giant rubber band ball, and he got it up to about 13 feet, about 2 tons, and it came rolling down the hill and just took out half my house. Say that again. Because the guy
Act
at
of
Farmers
God.
Insurance,
Click.
the guy at Farmers Insurance would be like, "We've seen it, we just didn't cover it." Oh, we are farmers. Bong, 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 bong.
Hey guys,
I
I
I'm gonna cut out
wonder
from
how many times J.K. Simmons makes an appearance somewhere and the crowd goes bump, 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 bump.
I think he has a bad reaction to that from what I've read.
Oh,
Well, it could be worse. You could ask him if he's tattooed. Never mind.
there
Just
was
watch
this
Oz.
game. There was this game on Facebook. Hey, Rich.
Rich?
Ninja Rich. Okay. There was this game on Facebook called Townville, where you built a small town. And one of the sponsors for Townville was Farmers Insurance. And you could actually buy gear for the game that was farmer. You had a farmer insurance building. You could put farmers insurance signs on top of buildings for advertising, stuff like that. It was kind of funny. Every time you clicked one of the farmers items, the farmers insurance items in the game, if you clicked on it, it would go, "We are farmers." Boom, 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 boom. Why is your green screen slowly molesting you, Don? Okay.
It's not. It's actual curtain. Because I had a fan in the window today.
Pay no attention to the mysterious man behind the curtain.
Oh my God,
I'm gonna start doing puppet shows.
Hey,
You,
Don.
you shouldn't have took that left turn at Albuquerque, Ted.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
Hey, Don. Now you know how I feel.
All I knew was doing it because he's trying to turn the air back on. So, yeah, no. But I do think I'm going to go ahead and cut out because this chair and my back are not getting along. So I might pop back on for Last Man Standing because I'll be in the living room. So
Okay.
Okay.
remind me not to mop next time I say I'm going to mop. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. See you
See
guys
you, Don.
later. Hopefully.
Oh, Don, you need to mop the bathroom while you're at it.
My glasses are falling down.
Subtlety.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, right, John, can you play it for me just to make me laugh today?
Do what?
John needs to play it because I'm leaving.
Hang on a minute. I'm on the wrong page.
Thanks, I needed that. So, see you later.
See you,
Good
Don.
night.
Bye-bye.
Oh. So, Rich, how's the puppies doing?
Much better. Bucky still looks kind of like a spaced out goblin at times. It's just he doesn't quite look right in the face, but he's hopping up on the couch, sitting next to us. They're having regular movements instead of what they were having, and they've got their appetite back.
So he's starting to look a little like Jim Ignikowski.
If Jim Ignatowski and Salacious Crumb had a bastard love child.
All right. So it's just trauma from all the bee stings.
Yeah, he still looks kind of like he's not having a good time. His ears are kind of down and out to the side, which is what gives him kind of the Salacious Crumb vibes. Yeah, he looks like a little goblin, sometimes when he's sitting there just. But if he's up on the couch and he's next to either Misty or me, he just gets relaxed. The ears go back in a relaxed way, and and Bella's been right as rain for little over a week now.
Ah,
She
Yeah.
bounced back first, and it took him a little bit longer, but he had a lot more on him.
yeah. You've seen the picture of the big white husky dog that I had, the husky Akita.
I
The
think
one
you've
that
shown
had-
it before.
Yeah, the one that had the mud all over her face. White dog with mud all over her face. We were camping one time and a couple yellow jackets got after her. And, she bit it and they stung her. It got
Ooh.
to the point to where if she saw anything flying, it was screw it. I'm going in the house. I'm done.
Screw this noise. I'm going home.
And she would actually run in the house when the June bugs were flying. They would freak her out. But she'd take a turkey down in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I bet that was really a big hit with the other folks in the grocery store.
Oh, it's not Jon Stewart. What's that other guy on HBO that does the?
John Oliver.
No, Bill Maher.
Dennis Miller?
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
He was doing an interview with Sharon Osbourne, and the reason they're moving or were going to move back to the UK is because California was taxing the hell out of them. They said, even when we move to UK, California is still going to tax us on our income because it's based coming from California. So you can't even move away from California without having to pay income tax.
You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave.
I'm sure there's some way to get around that.
Oh, yeah. Close up all your businesses and everything and do no business in California. Oh. Oh, and the lady that won the $1 billion Powerball out of California the last time,
Mm-hmm.
$220 million is all she got out of it.
I took the cash option.
Do what?
She took the cash option, huh?
No, that's after all the taxes and everything. Well, maybe she took cash option, but yeah, it was under $220 million out of $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes.
I think it ought to be a law that if you win over $10 million in the lottery and pay taxes, you never have to pay taxes again.
For the rest
You've
of your
done your
life.
share.
Yeah.
Good
Now
evening, Rick and Michaela.
That would probably get a lot of lottery tickets sold right there.
Oh, yeah.
And John made a pot roast yesterday. So I was up about midnight last night searing a roast and threw it in a crock pot full of veggies.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Went to left it in the crock pot for about 12 hours.
Oh,
Bless you.
Pardon me.
Shoot.
what else did you put in there with it?
Potatoes, carrots, onion, celery, garlic, bay leaves, and I didn't put a lot of spices in it. I'm not big on spicy. I mean, heck, you pretty much just made pretty much just made spices with all that stuff. I wish I had thought about it. I'd add a bell pepper.
Well, I have it on good authority that Lindsay made me a homemade breakfast burrito, shepherd's pie,
Ooh. Now,
pinto beans.
okay, shepherd's pie. Does she use sheep kidneys in it? Or
Probably not.
I wanted to make one time, but I could not find any place around Chattanooga that sells sheep kidneys.
Nope. I do believe that she substitutes ground beef, and that's about as exciting as she's going to get with that. We don't. We're never going to have lamb with mint sauce or anything like that. So,
I've got a couple of leg of lamb in the deep freezer that I need to do something with.
Damn. Look what Michaela found. Bluegill the size of dinner plates.
Oh yeah. All you got to do is leave them alone for a few years. Get everybody to leave them alone for a few years.
Yeah. And keep the bass away from them.
Yeah.
Dan, he was talking about the sheep kidneys. Do you remember the guy that was at the steampunk shows, had the little thing in the dealer's room? It was like a little stage and a curtain. And he says, for $1, I'll show you the strangest thing you've ever seen.
Yes, I do.
And it was a can of vegetarian haggis.
Mm-hmm.
I've made him a bet of double or nothing. He goes, what do you mean double or nothing? I said, I can show you something that will top the vegetarian haggis. He said, okay, what is it? I pulled up the picture. Diet caffeine-free Mountain Dew. He went, son of a bitch, you win. He handed me my $1 back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, that'd just be a quick way to get run out of some places and over in, what is it, Scotland? The haggis, or is that Irish?
Scotland.
No, Scottish. Oh.
Walk. I'm getting a cramp. Oh shit. Be back.
I wish my boss would remember to get out of fucking documents so that I can actually update them so that she has the information for her meetings.
You have a boss like that too.
Oh, I need this updated for the Friday meeting.
Close it out so I can update it. I had something. My boss was going, hey, corporate's getting on to me about this not being updated. I go, you've still got it open on your desk. It won't let me update. Use one of the copies. That's why I make 3 in different directories.
Or open it, look at it, close it.
So here's one for you, Rich. We had a Excel file in Indot that had all the various phone numbers for everybody in the district. And for whatever reason, and I went to the man's computer and his computer wasn't even turned on. But it would show that one of the guys in traffic had the file open. It would do this on days where he'd be on vacation. It still did it after he was fired, and IoT had deleted his account. We would get the occasional pop-up going into the Excel file saying, so and so is currently viewing this file. How? The man was a ghost in the system up until I left, and to this day, as far as I know, it still does it.
I mean, I understand how it happens where I work. We use a document management system, and if the application ends abruptly or the application for the document management system ends abruptly, it's still showing checked out until the person checks that document back in.
Oh, Nick's got a question here.
If it forgets it has Bluetooth, check the drivers first, would be my opinion. If there's a driver update.
Yeah, first thing I would do is check for the driver updates and also make sure that all the proper, not necessarily all the proper Windows updates, if it's a Windows machine, have been applied. Because sometimes the driver will update, but it won't play nice in the sandbox with the operating system until the operating system comes a few more notches up too.
Mm-hmm. And Carl was asking about the other problem to Nick, which I thought he was talking about the one there with the phantom file being open.
Yeah, the phantom file thing really confused me because I was IT at the time, and I remember submitting for his account to be deleted, and I know his account was deleted because they moved his home folder over to the supervisors. And the first time I saw it pop up, I went, I'm going to check into this. Pulled up their little support tool, typed in his username. Everything showed deactivated. Didn't even have showing that he had access to that drive anymore. It's like, so how is this possible?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess corruption in the file.
Which is quite possible because that file was used, abused, and let's see. So that's on. Oh, it's on Amanda's work computer. So I'm assuming that's probably Windows based.
Over on the big screen of Nick's living room. Oh.
Now the file I was talking about that my supervisor never closes out, I'm about to have to share that with 4 other people that are on rotating shifts. I actually have a button on there that I put with VBA code that says save and exit. How much you want to bet nobody ever clicks on that after they type their information in? I will have to go to their computer and shut it down so that I can do my work and save it and exit.
You need to get a program that if they don't type something or move their mouse for like 30 minutes, it automatically initiates save all and shut down.
Can't do that. It's work computers. I don't have that authority.
Somebody does.
I'm not saying that I don't. I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I am not allowed to make that kind of modification.
The other problem with that is if they've got incorrect or incomplete information in, is that going to cause any type of mess up with the file as well? So
I don't know. It's basically just an Excel database. If you close it out, whatever you last typed in, or whatever you last hit saved, and then close out. Nick, how long till I retire? 15 weeks and 1 day.
Now I'm going to ask a question to Nick. What makes Rich and I internet heathens? I know I'm a heathen, but
I'm the Reverend Dickie Asshole. I'm going to save all you sinning assholes.
Maybe internet hedonists, but heathens? I don't think so.
oh, then there were three.
Hey, he's still
Who
here.
did we lose? Oh, we lost everybody.
He just stepped away from the camera.
I'm going to get a beer. Bye.
No, I thought Misty was knocking on the door because she was about ready to go to bed. So she's camera shy.
Yeah, Lindsay is too.
Oh, I changed Misty's name as my contact in my phone. So now I can tell my car, call sexy bitch, and it dials my wife.
Yes, Carl, she did.
Okay, I got to come back on that one. Tell you a story. My other HHR, not the red one, but my silver one, had OnStar. And I was trying to get it to call somebody, you know, by saying the number. And like about the fifth time of it not realizing, recognizing my voice, telling the number, it said, please say the number again. I said, oh, you fucking bitch. Okay, calling Donna. And the kids were in the car. I'm like, you didn't hear shit.
No idea why it had me as that.
Independent Creator Directory?
Yeah.
Because I'm streaming it to the NDCD YouTube?
Yeah, but it has my comment as coming from...
Because you're a co-admin on my account.
Okay.
Which is why, like, if I was to leave right now, the stream would keep running on the NDCD page.
Because you're here.
Yep. If I'm streaming and you're not here, it'll cut it off.
It will?
If I leave. Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, if you have a guest streamer and they leave the studio, it'll actually cut off that stream.
Okay.
Unless one of their co-admins happens to be in the room. Now, for you guys, like, all three of you could technically leave the studio right now, and it would still continue streaming to your pages because you are the main hosts.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I figured that out the hard way one time when I left and I was looking back at videos. I'm like, oh, I got the whole of Last Man Standing. How'd I get that? Oh, Rich was there the whole time.
It's all my fault.
Oh. Oh, Carl.
Yep.
Yeah,
I plan on being down there too.
Well, as long as he's got plenty of beefcake, he'll be able to get moved.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, that felt good.
I'm glad you can do that because I can't.
Oh.
I'm still interested in why Nick thinks we're heathens.
Gotta ask Nick.
Well, he has known us for quite a while, Richie, so.
Yeah. But he says, we know what we did, and I've got no clue.
I'm innocent.
I do so many inappropriate things.
Well, don't be doing that.
But it's
But they're
fun.
fun.
Well, Mommy and Daddy said if I can't be good at it. So I'm good at it.
All right.
My parents named me Dick. I get to live up to it. Surprised Missy's not screaming from the other room. You don't have to. No, I didn't say I have to. I said I get to.
Some rewards are too gratuitous to pass up.
Oh.
Had to search for a word there. All right. Haven't heard anything else from Three Ravens, so that's still in the works.
Well, I think he's still trying to recover from HallowCon's.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. That will take a little while. That's a very intense experience.
Very much. Oh. What? Don't everybody talk at once.
No, I'm just wondering. I knew it wasn't my computer going ping.
Yeah.
Or my phone.
That was mine. YouTube just sent me a notification our show has started.
Oh, nice.
Good to know.
Good to know, yes.
Hour and 14 minutes in.
Probably got delayed because we started a minute early.
Oh, we confused it.
Yeah. The algorithms are all messed up now.
Yeah. Plot boy can't dance. Can we even put that up on screen, what Nick just said?
I wasn't going to.
I mean, wait a second. I didn't do that. Only Rich did. Guess guilty by association.
Birds of a feather.
I guess so. Birds of a feather flock together. I was watching one of those America's Got Talent, the recaps, and there was a ventriloquist that had this bird that was, what's talking, and he hypnotized his dummy bird. And as he's, swinging the watch and all that, and he goes, "You're getting sleepy. You're falling under my trance." And he swung it, and it flew out across the stage. And went, "Ah, crap!" Bird went, "Okay."
Oh, I've heard a few with that punchline before. Not since high school, though.
Now that's scary. I don't know what just happened, but you guys got a lot bigger on my screen.
Well,
Makes
there's
sense.
little
Hit
blue
F11.
pills that help. Oh, wrong type of
What-
bigger.
What'd you say, Joe?
Did you hit F11 on your keyboard on accident?
Yeah, it must have been that. Okay. I mean, that was scary. I mean, I got everybody right up my face.
That's what you get for eating pickled eggs. Usually people just run away screaming and holding their nose, but
Yeah. Well, I can now say
no,
I've got-
Nick, no, I'm sorry. I believe that would be Carl's brother that needs Jesus. He's moving this weekend. They're going to need a miracle.
Hey, somebody asked me if I knew Jesus. I said, yeah. He cuts the yard next door.
I was trying not to go there.
Therapy costs too much money, Carl.
We just find a bar we can tolerate and hold a convention there.
Uh-oh. Donna, what did you buy?
I am no afraid to ask.
This is true. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach, we need to
Hey, Zach.
talk with you. I need information.
We have rocket questions.
We have rocket questions.
I sometimes wonder with some of the questions we ask him about rockets, whether or not he actually wants to get on the show and answer the damn questions. Because me and Joe are the kind of people that go, yeah, how do you poop in space?
Carefully.
You back up to this little hole, flip a switch, and everything never mind.
I was watching a bunch of stuff from the HBO series Last of Us. And the whole time I was watching this, I was going, when do these people ever go to the bathroom? I mean, it's like, there's no running water, there's no sewage. And when I was in the military, we had a procedure where no one pooped alone. Okay, you didn't go anywhere by yourself. So there was always someone covering your back, literally, while you were off doing your business. So. And you never see that in any of these shows, zombies every damn where, and nobody's like,
Well, what isn't that rule number 4? Avoid bathroom stalls.
It is. That's why you you find out where the mayor's house was in the town you're passing through, and you go crap in the living room of the mayor's house. Fun stuff like that. Hey, look, there's nobody in the police station. Ooh, look, the DMV. That's.
I'm sorry, that would be just, it's already too full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our BMV just announced that a bunch of the stores, if you will, locations are getting revised hours. And mentioned that, don't forget we have these lovely self-serve kiosks that you can use. And I replied with a comment of, yes, the big lovely kiosks that are in the front vestibule as everybody's trying to walk in past you, that barely has enough room for 3 people to be standing there using the kiosk at the same time, that also displays all your private information on a nice big bright screen. Yeah, let's use that.
And Zach, check Discord. I just sent you the link.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, one of the things I want to ask you about, Zach, is how does streaming work now for a certain company?
That sounds like it's going to take a while.
Oh, do I need to send Zach a?
I just did.
Okay. Where'd you send it? Just out of curiosity.
Discord.
Isn't it?
Thank you. Ooh. Hurricane Lee is already at Category 4. They're predicting it'll make 5 by the time it hits landfall.
Ooh.
And as of this moment, it is on a direct path for Cape Canaveral.
Well, it's supposed to turn.
Yeah, it
It
is.
missed that part of the memo.
Did anyone tell the hurricane? No. Hey, you're supposed to turn and go up the coast.
Your other left. Your other left.
Screw you guys. I'm
Hovers
going to
over
Disney
Mar-a-Lago for about 6 months.
Oh, well, I heard a motion was filed to change the circuit court handling a case, and the judge instantly denied it. Said it's a Georgia case, not a federal case.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Fire up the Harper Ray and make it turn, dang it.
The trouble is
You know,
it
you always
AM
hear-
or FM that makes it turn north?
you always hear about, using that thing to change weather. And it's like, if you know anything about energy, okay, there is nothing mankind can do to change the amount of energy in a hurricane that big. We just can't generate that amount of energy, even with nuclear weapons.
And all the nuclear weapon would do is intensify it and make it spread radiation everywhere.
And make a radioactive hurricane. Boy, there's a sci-fi movie for you. Nuclear hurricane.
There's the Zach.
Well, don't everybody click the button at once.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach.
How's it going?
Hey.
Big question. How do you get notifications of when a certain company goes live now?
You don't.
You just sort of wait and click refresh.
Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts.
I cannot believe anybody that is as big a publicity hound as Elon Musk.
It makes a lot of sense for him privately and for X. That's the hard thing. SpaceX doesn't need the public's support at this point. They don't. X wants money. Elon owns X. SpaceX gets 250,000 people watching a Starlink launch at 3 a.m. If that all gets moved over off of YouTube onto X, all the advertisers go onto X and actually pay more on X for ads than they do on YouTube. More money in their pocket.
Great. Someplace else that plays StreamYard ads every 30 seconds.
While we're watching StreamYard. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. We tweeted about it, and that tweet blew up just a little bit. Just had like 1 million impressions. So it started kind of trending, and people started getting upset. And there's now a official petition, and apparently staff internally of SpaceX have said they're trying to find a way to petition it. Because some employees aren't happy. They're like, we're trying to do all this hard work, and now you don't want to share it except on a platform that half the world doesn't like. Doesn't seem like... So we've put out a couple polls of like, split it. Sure, put the official launch broadcast with commentary on X. But leave Mission Control on YouTube. Or vice versa. Or put both on both. Like I could... Or if it's a Starlink, put everything on X, but if it's at least a crewed mission or something, put it on YouTube. The weird part is when they did it, because Crew 6 was coming home. They covered Crew 6's undocking on YouTube, but re-entry and splashdown were on X. Then they ended the stream with Dragon in the water, and then restarted the stream when they realized, oh wait, we still have to see the astronauts got home okay, and went live again for hatch opening. It was like it was not planned.
Yeah,
I don't think it was someone sent an email. Some people did some stuff. From the few people I've talked to, apparently they have some plans. We've seen them testing, giving like multiple X feeds at once with different dedicated views. So there's some options, but it's not going to be great.
Well,
your guy Jay says X is 17 plus, so what happened to inspiring the next generation?
One, X isn't available on all platforms. It's barely 1080p at times. Like YouTube's got 8K now. They streamed 4K for the last like 3-4 years for SpaceX if it wasn't a NASA mission. So if X was competitive and had 4K, could be different. If X had a different video player UI, which apparently they're working on, would also be different. But it changes it even for us of how we have to pull in feeds because they don't have a media one. I could even understand leaving it on YouTube, but private for media. Because like for us to do it now, we literally have to basically like screen share to get a feed, where before we could direct embed the video link because it was through the YouTube systems. And there's options with Twitter going forward, but it's a lot messier. I don't think it'll last by the end of the year. But I think it was also a way for them to kill mission control feeds. I also think they started to realize how much data they were giving out on those because we used them. Yeah. That's why they almost killed us in March.
Speaking of
April.
Speaking of deadly rocket launches, so they've got their new booster on the pad.
Yep.
And they did the test fire. How'd that go?
Static fire, all 33 lit for the first time, so check mark. Two broke during test, so sort of check mark. They would have still had enough to make flight, but that was only 6 seconds instead of like 6 minutes. So at that ratio, they would have been out of engines within a minute. But we'll see.
Now, don't these engines sit on the stand at McGregor and burn for like 10 minutes?
They all do full duration tests, yeah.
Then why are they screwing up when they get together?
Well, I believe they all do for full duration. I'm not sure now they're cranking out so many, but the first ones did. Good question.
They just can't play well together.
Possibly, just there's so many in one system. at one time. Like it could just be a fuel pressure thing. It could be a mixture thing.
Sensors screwing with each other.
Yeah.
Just all sorts of
vibrations. Like I am really surprised we didn't have more like hop tests and things like that. That would have, I thought, maybe seen more with that.
Yeah.
But even if it was just throwing a few of them into the ocean, like the Gulf, just to know it works. And now this one's technically taller than the old one because they added that new crown, some people are calling it.
Yeah.
So.
And, well, it almost looks like the chopsticks can just sort of barely get the booster or the ship up there.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's fine. I guess they considered it before. But yeah, it's tight. So we'll see if it works. I'm not sure. I probably won't be down for this one, but we'll see.
So
Now-
you got any guesstimate on date?
At this point, it doesn't make sense with the FAA and the lawsuit. The FAA is not going to issue a license till that lawsuit against them settled for the first flight. So the FAA said yesterday it's still an open file. So previously, when we were close, they said we're expecting it to wrap up soon. That was not what they said now. They told us it was wrapping up soon for like 2 months last time. So I think it'll fly by end of year, but I think people thinking that it's in the next 2 weeks. The vehicle will be. From what I've understood, Elon and SpaceX say their vehicle will be ready in 2 weeks. And then it just sits and waits for a license, which is what happened with 8, and then they launched it anyways. But
Yeah, got in a little bit of trouble for that one, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they got away without having to pay the $1 billion fine or whatever it could have been, but we'll see. I'm not sure it's going to make it to re-entry, but we'll see.
I think, well, they rode 2026 out. I think that may be the one that actually makes the first orbit.
The first one that tries to come back. I don't think they're trying to orbit for a while because none of these reach orbit. They all stop just before it.
Yeah. Well, 26 will go up and, just come back as,
Yeah. A very long suborbital.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. And they're starting to paint the HLS mock-up. So that's interesting to see.
Okay.
HLS.
They've built the nose cone, which is for the NASA lunar lander, as a mock-up, so people can actually go in it for scale at NASA and start to understand the lander. So they've built the top portion of it, and they've started painting the outside white on the mock-up at Starbase, which they did 2.5 years ago with the initial nose cone. They just painted a nose cone all white, and it sat there for a year.
I imagine in South Texas you'd have to paint something that big and metal white to keep it from turning into a easy bake oven.
You'd think, but they don't seem to care. But that's also why they're building a bigger factory. They used to have all these tents, and now it's just going to be one huge building. So we're going to lose. I think people will be surprised how much information we don't know in the next 6 months, because we're only going to see big sections of Starship roll out and into the bays and get stacked. We're not going to see each individual ring anymore. We're not going to see engines other than going between doors. It's going to get a lot more, not restricted, but hidden.
Covered.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Which makes sense, air conditioning for their crews. And
because you were there when the last launch took place, and you know how much crap flies every time they light that sucker. Can you imagine what it did to their facilities there, which were a little bit closer than you were?
Yep.
They were probably sweeping that and dusting in there for weeks.
Yeah.
There's still concrete laying around all around the beach, isn't there?
Well, there's new concrete from the last static fire.
Do what?
There's new chunks all over the beach from the last static fire. it threw chunks again. Now, I don't think anyone's reported there being a new hole, so I don't know where the concrete came from, but there were chunks of concrete all over the dune again.
I was wondering about that because I saw where they had poured all the new concrete. There was a lot of it that was not covered in steel.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there was some that right there underneath the launch pad, but I kept knowing what I know about explosive force and stuff like that. I was going, that concrete that close to the ocean is going to be wet, and when it gets hot, the water inside the concrete creates steam, and the concrete turns into a bomb. And that's, you got to have that stuff covered up pretty good to keep that sort of energy from.
Daniel.
Yes, dear.
You're supposed to say amen.
No, I know better than that.
Oh. Hey, there used to be a guy at work that would sit just like this in his truck. Boss would climb up on the running board, and he said, God, pray for Lonnie and Henry. And oh, hey.
Back when NDOT used to do manual counts of vehicles going through intersections, we had an older gentleman that worked in that department. And when he would get sent out to do the counts, almost every single time we would get several phone calls going, you might want to come check on this guy. We think he's dead in the car. Because he was that old. And he sat there, all he had was this little board in front of him that he was hitting buttons on. So you'd never see him move because you couldn't see his fingers pushing the buttons.
Let's see. I got another question for Zach. Hurricane Lee is somewhere over near Haiti, Puerto Rico. And it's already Category 4. It's possibly going to be Category 5 before it gets close to Florida. And right now, they're saying it's going to turn and go up the coast. But right now, so far, it's been on a direct path for Cape Canaveral.
Party.
This hurricane's going to Disney World. Okay.
I hadn't actually seen that one yet.
Hurricane Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fun one. And
then they got...
do they have an estimated impact time?
No.
Okay, here. Okay, Tuesday. Okay, it's slow.
Yeah, that's why she's building steam.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
I believe the proper terminology is juggernaut.
Yeah, it's gonna only be above Haiti on Tuesday. So you're talking next weekend, probably hitting Florida if it goes straight.
Oh, it'll just sit out there and wait for HallowCon and then come to Dalton.
It's already a 4?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What they were saying.
They're talking possibly 5 by in the morning.
Do they go to a 6?
Not yet.
Yes, they can.
They can? Okay. I wondered.
Well, there's no technical 6, but
No.
There's no technical 6, but if
there's
it
lots
gets
of
up,
people that have been fighting for it.
They
Interesting.
may get 2 here in the next 2 weeks.
It's gonna. Wow. If you know people in Puerto Rico or Bahamas, bye.
head to the airport.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's gonna be I mean, no matter what that hits in the Bahamas, which is literally nothing, that's not gonna calm down.
No.
Yeah, it says 5 by tonight. Looks like they're thinking it'll calm down to a 4 by Saturday afternoon, and then stay a 4. And then we only have the forecast till Tuesday, which it still has to go that same distance again. to get to Florida. That's a weird storm. That's weird.
Special delivery.
Well, we can just launch a couple rockets in the eye of it again. We seem to like doing that now. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, launch a couple rockets in the eye. That way it's not on YouTube.
Well, no, what you do is you launch a couple and then you activate their FTS. And if you do it at the 4 points of the eye, you can collapse the eye and the storm will quit out. There was apparently a real science research into it if that would work years ago.
Last time I read something that sounded like that, it was a Lensman novel.
Hey, Jay says, at least there's no mega moon rocket on the pad to worry about tipping over.
No, but there is a mega moon rocket pad on the pad. But
well, as low as that thing sits, and
yeah, it's not
bottom
top heavy.
Yeah,
SLS was top heavy with no straps. Not that I wanted to see it fall over, but it kind of would have been. That would have been the meme of the millennia. Yeah. You know, NASA drops
all of a sudden
$28 billion rocket.
You see the tank dent inward slightly, and it slowly starts leaning in that direction, and the whole thing just collapses into the ground.
Oh, it just would have been the whole thing, just the sideways. Well, almost frontwards, but we'll see.
Wonderful.
If they're going to evacuate KSC, they're probably going to order that Tuesday. 48, 72 hours roughly. So, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Jay, this isn't funny.
It is because I know other things that I can't say. Let's just say it didn't happen one time.
You're not saying there's duct tape on the James Webb Telescope, are you?
Not anymore. No, it had a rough journey out to the launch pad from the manufacturing. So not only did they drop it in manufacturing, they also dropped it in French Guiana. So yeah, it kind of just went like, oops. So like it wasn't a full drop, but
yeah, what was it? They forgot to. It was on the machine to turn it or something. They forgot to bolt it down.
Yeah, it was on the thing to put it up, to tilt, to hang it so they could rotate. And they forgot to bolt it to the thing before they tilted it up 90 degrees.
So they tilted it and it bong. And, everyone at Cape Canaveral, their heart stopped beating for about 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Heart stopped beating, something else went.
I mean, it's only a $10 billion telescope.
APF went to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I know all about pucker factor.
You couldn't have fit a piece of angel hair pasta through there.
I used that in a novel that'll never be published, but
with a 55-gallon drum of Crisco.
Now you know why
split a lawyer's conscience up there.
Now you know why you're supposed to use waxed dental floss.
I didn't even think about Psyche, actually, Jay. Yeah, let's not play with a hurricane right now.
Okay, Psyche, that's a SpaceX mission, right?
Falcon Heavy. If that does not launch on October 8th, they miss like another 6 months or a year. It's a very precise, like, minute
narrow window.
They
were supposed to launch last year, and JPL hadn't finished the software. And when that happened, they had a 360, well, almost more, 390-day delay to the next window, and it doesn't do the exact same mission. That's the next window to get to the same endpoint, but has different middle points because it's using other asteroids and stuff as slingshots.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Now, what's this? Okay, so that's the Which
Went to Psyche to study basically a solid metal asteroid that we estimate being worth, I think it's 10 to 100 times the world's GDP in like 100 years.
okay, I know which one that is. Yeah.
So if we like it,
Is it
we're going to go
Phobos?
mine it.
The Phobos asteroid or something like that, or
No,
Yeah,
it's Psyche.
remember.
Is the name of the
Psyche?
asteroid.
Yeah, Psyche.
Yep.
But the thing with Psyche, which
That's
is
the one
interesting,
with
is
the Cybermen on it.
we've never taken a picture of it. We have sensor readings, we have rough scans, but we've never actually captured a picture of Psyche. So we're spending a multi-tens or $100 million spacecraft to go check it out.
Take a picture. And I love it if there's a bunch of little critters running around on it as it flies by.
A big old private property sign.
property of Tony Stark.
No, it's Elon Musk.
Or even better, they fly by and there's a bunch of aliens standing with their pants down, mooning every.
You just see it coming. Oh, hello.
And a red sports car.
I don't remember how long it's going to take to get there, though. It's not a quick mission.
A couple of years at least.
Then,
Is that an Aladdin? Rich, is that an Aladdin thermos?
Stanley.
Oh, a Stanley. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen one with the lid like that. You know, usually it's got the stopper and the coffee cup on top of it.
Well, it's supposed to have that, but it broke.
Oh. Well, I do know those Aladdin thermoses. My dad would fill one up with coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 4, it still got hot coffee in it.
there's a trick to that where you pour hot water in it first and let it charge the inside of the thermos. Then you dump the hot water out and then put your hot coffee in. Then it'll stay. I've had coffee in one of my thermoses stay hot for almost 2 days.
So you supercharge it.
Yeah.
My father's coffee wouldn't get past noon.
From consumption or
Consumption.
I thought. Hello, Chris.
So Zach, hey Chris, have you heard that they used one of the last of the Atlas V's to launch what would be the best way to describe it? It's a satellite that spies on spy satellites that spy on spy satellites.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Because apparently Russia and China have both launched these satellites they can maneuver in space, and they get in behind other spy satellites and try to gather intel on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, either can we jam it? What are they looking at? What kind of signals are they sending? And all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So apparently, the Air Force is going to send a satellite to spy on those satellites.
That's the SDA constellation, I think, isn't it?
You tell me, we'll both know.
I think that's the SDA's. The Space Development Agency, SDA, is doing a multi-level constellation. So they have a tracking layer, they have a communication layer. There's a third transport layer, I think they called it. And they each have different things, but it's specifically fitting into the different avenues of the U.S. military's use. So they're all military satellites, but some of it is for reconnaissance.
Right.
So I think
National Reconnaissance Office and all that.
Yeah.
So
Most of it falls under that. But I mean, anything that's government basically that isn't science seems to be national reconnaissance.
And
It's
as
not
a
much other
defense
addition to
mechanism, the original spy satellite that is being spied on by the spy satellite that's being spied on starts sending out, I don't know, say recording of Paris Hilton's sex tape or whatever. That ought to keep the Russians busy for a while.
Well, what about the satellite that's supposed to fly up the tailpipe of another satellite and become a service module to that satellite to reboost the orbit or refill or whatever?
In works ish.
Okay.
Ish.
There's
That
no
we-
satellites
That
currently.
we know of. Okay. Yeah.
Accurate. There's none currently in orbit that have the docking stuff to do so, other than Hubble. That was like specifically added for the purpose of docking for reboost. That we know of. Now, the theory is there's a couple different systems that are being designed. One's a Claw of 4. It's a cube from Europe that can come grab anything. And theoretically, it could refuel or refill or deorbit or boost. The other one we talked about a few days ago in an article was an inflatable type one. So it's an upside down bouncy castle. Just goes and grabs crap and then pushes it back to the Earth's atmosphere. It was designed for mining, because the idea was if you could mine and it just shoots it up in the air or in space, you could have this inflatable one come just scoop it and bring it back.
Right.
Rather than having to place everything. But, I mean, even the military side of it's all changing. The Space Force just redid their mission statement for the first time. Instead of it's a paragraph, it's like an 9-word sentence. So they're trying to clean it up. Make it easier to understand.
Why is it that bureaucracies always put out a 3-page document that only contains one sentence of actual information?
Yeah.
Why can't politicians ever answer a question with yes or no?
Because then they'd be out of a job.
Because then they're called a smartass.
Then we'd know if there's aliens.
Yet people don't like their politicians to answer questions with just yes or no, because they don't like yes or no answers.
Yeah. Zach just said something. Do you know the military absolutely blew the perfect chance to have the president announce that there were aliens?
Which day?
You know, the military, had they told Trump, you can tell us there's aliens, nobody would have believed him.
No one believed it with the press thing a month ago. To the point, it was trending on a certain Chinese social media app and other platforms that, wait, the US government just confirmed that there's basically aliens and no one's reacting. Are we okay? Was more trending than people talking about the announcement that was basically probably as big of an announcement we're ever going to get until, if anything ever comes out, was that you've got multiple people testifying in front of Congress that they were directors of programs and saw spacecraft and non-human biological bodies in front of Congress. And not a word from the mainstream media.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure most alien species still roll past us with their windows up and doors locked, like going through
100%
Chicago.
Oh, hell yeah.
Would you stop here?
No, probably not.
What's the saying? Hands at 10 and 2, look straight ahead. Don't make eye contact.
We're the panhandler on the side of the road. They're not there.
Especially driving through Cabrini Green on the south side of Chicago.
There was that South Park episode where it turned out that Earth is actually a reality TV show that's being broadcast all over the rest of the universe because they can't believe how crazy this place is.
I mean, would you be surprised?
Hey guys, I just looked up at the live count. The timer.
Yeah.
We should extend the show, make it 4 hours.
Well, it used to be.
We do that. We actually do that. We
Yeah,
just
Dan takes
changed
over.
the title.
Before we end the show, Zach, is there any more rocket news we need to know real quick? Something we haven't covered yet?
Oh, probably. We've been doing some strategy and stuff and internal things, but
hey, ULA just, I wouldn't be surprised if ULA says, hey, we're going to start broadcasting our launches on TikTok.
not allowed to. Government. It's banned.
Oh, yeah.
But Facebook,
Snapchat, Instagram.
Snapchat was designed in China first. Instagram's owned by Meta, which no one trusts. Like, it's really weird, but of all the social media platforms out there, most trusted one is X. It's owned by an American. It's never had foreign funding, and it's never had foreign ownership. In the U.S. state of things, it's the most.
I miss MySpace.
That would technically mean the little mini social network I set up was the second most trusted. Oh.
Well, you said it's American owned. Well,
sorta.
It's not Chinese owned.
Yeah.
Which the question is how much of Meta and stuff is.
Yeah.
But
well, we're at 58. All right. Well, I will just leave it at that, and we've got to say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thanks
night,
for showing
everybody.
up, Zach. Okay.
Yeah, we love it when you show up, Zach. It actually brings some intelligence to the show.
Yeah, it brings the collective intelligence level up.
Kieran was going to join, but his computer decided to do a software update when he hit join call.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, mine does that too. All right, we'll holler at all y'all. Dan's last man standing is going. I may or may not be in Saturday because I'm working HallowCon's stuff. So with that, I'm going to say I'll see y'all next week, and everybody else will see. Y'all can see them on Saturday. I'll talk to y'all later. Say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.
I can't do it. My tummy hurt.